That's it. I finally did it, guys. I quit my job of 10 years to play Call of Duty. Now that I got the clickbait title joke out of the way, let's get into what's really going on. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If y'all don't know, my name is Ghost. Let's get into this. So I started this journey on YouTube about 3 years ago, and it's been kind of a slow crawl along the way with its ups and downs, and growths for me have been kind of coming in spurts. I know I could be making better content, but I just, like most of us, I've been learning a lot of this stuff along the way as I go. I started off making similar, like these commentary videos to the bigger YouTubers that I used to watch. Granted, the videos I was making back then were more than terrible, and kind of still are. But it was then I met a few people in the YouTube streaming scene, and I started giving that a try, and my channel actually started picking up a little bit of speed. I hit 1K subscribers and finally applied for the YouTube partnership program. When I got the email back saying that they accepted me into the YouTube program, man, it was like a dream come true. You know that feeling that you get when you finally get that job that you've been really wanting, or you know, when you're getting a Christmas gift that you know that you're getting but you just can't play with it yet. You know, it's that kind of feeling of excitement. Now, it's not like I could just up and quit my job or anything, but just that feeling of being able to make some bit of revenue at all from what you love to do is an absolute great feeling. But I was only making pennies off of ad revenue, and it's, you know, not like my channel was or even is popping off at all. You know, I still have to pay my bills and keep a roof over my head. So let's talk about my job for a minute. So I was hired at this restaurant in 2013 as a cook, and I quickly worked my way up to supervisor in just over a year. Now, this job wasn't really ideal, but honestly, I've worked way worse, and over the years, I just started becoming comfortable. I started earning little raises, but honestly, nothing that they should have been paying me, and coming to find out, I would get raises just before the minimum wage would raise, so it would seem like I was getting paid more, but when everybody else started to get their raises, I was right back to getting paid what I was getting paid before to run my position in the restaurant, causing this cycle of never actually paying me more, but always getting the same level of work out of me. You know, I dealt with this for years knowing what was going on, but I really didn't care because yet again, I was comfortable. Fast forward a few years, I met this woman that also worked at the restaurant, and we honestly hit it off pretty well. You know, we started dating, things were off to a great start. She got pregnant, we had plans to start a family and all that. And I know, as most of you probably know, life has a great way of making things interesting for most of us. The relationship, it didn't work out, and you know, but I wanted to be a father more than anything for a long time, and I wanted a reason to, you know, to keep pushing. So I was honestly still very excited, but I was really scared, and now honestly more than ever. And it was at this point I finally decided to start my YouTube channel and really kind of push towards my dreams. I felt this constant pressure that my time was running out, and I didn't want to get stuck in this cycle of barely being able to scrape by, especially knowing that it's not all just about me anymore. Now, the first year on YouTube was extremely slow because I didn't know what I was doing at all. I had no knowledge of the algorithm, how to edit videos, thumbnails, titles, honestly nothing at all. But after doing some research and, you know, a bunch of trial and error, I got through my first year and I got monetized. At this point, some drama kind of kicked off in our community that I was involved in, and the growth honestly kind of stopped. I plateaued at just above 1K, so I really knew I needed at this point to do something else. I started experimenting with a bunch of different Call of Duty content. I started doing zombies videos, which did very well for the channel. I also did some Warzone content with some reactions that were mixed in here and there, and I saw the growth coming in a little bit faster than ever before. No, my channel definitely wasn't taking off or anything, but when you go from gaining maybe one sub a day to gaining like 10 or 15 a day, that growth to a smaller YouTuber feels amazing. Now, the zombies content started to die out with Cold War coming to an end and Vanguard just being absolutely awful. I yet again had to find something new that was working for the channel. That's when shorts came along. I discovered the shorts and I started experimenting with them, trying a bunch of new things on Warzone, and it started doing very well. I was even seeing more growth with these than I was with the zombies content, so I leaned really hard into this new format that was working for me, and I gained, actually, it was like right around 2,000 subscribers in just a couple of months. And for someone that's been grinding YouTube for a couple years now, this type of growth, it's just unheard of for me. But of course, right when things are looking up on one side of my life, things on the other side of my life are just going to absolute fucking chaos. Now, my job at the restaurant has honestly been going downhill ever since that thing happened that made everyone wear the face diapers. It had been getting incredibly hard to keep people at the restaurant. No one really wanted to work because you could make more money from home and off unemployment and things like that, and we were constantly short-staffed and always running out of things, you know, like actual product in the store due to the situation around the world, leading to customers getting angry all the time. The manager at the store at the time was honestly pretty decent and generally held things together, but honestly, I think even even he eventually just had enough and said fuck it, because a few months back he left the company for a much better job and passed his position of management at the store to this chick that honestly has zero clue what she is doing. Now, it really doesn't help that this chick can't stay out the bottle and is apparently into some other things as well. There'd be a lot of times where she would show up late at night to the store drunk, half clothed, and either just in ratty fucking clothing. And instead of trying to get other people to help, she just ends up doing the work herself because no one wants to be there. You kind of see a pattern of what's going on here. The store was already in a bad position when the old manager left, and we were kind of in the process of climbing out of this hole, but when this girl took over, she ended up just pushing that bitch right back down the hill and even further than it was before. I started watching people that had worked there for years start quitting and falling off one by one. The shifts were getting even more and more short-staffed, and business was absolutely booming. If I didn't mention this before, the store was doing 3 times more business than ever before due to the situation that had been going on throughout the world. Now, not only did our new manager have her own problems, but she hired her friend and ex-coworker that used to work for us that has a drug problem, and I've maybe seen this girl maybe twice since she took the position. From what I know, she does pretty much absolutely nothing. So not only is the main higher up not qualified to be in her position, but the person that she hired to help her isn't qualified either. We have 2 tweaking chicks running a restaurant, and I'm sure you all know how well this is gonna go. One night about a month ago, I ended up putting in my 2 weeks notice because I was forced to close the store at around 10 p.m. We do close at midnight because there was only 2 of us, and it's impossible to run the store with only 2 of you, especially when it gets really busy. She comes in randomly at about 11 p.m. drunk, and of course tells me that I have to put everything back out onto the floor and reopen the restaurant for the last hour. I told her she could do it herself, and I was putting in my 2 weeks notice, and I let her and her assistant open up the store for the last hour, and I didn't lift a finger to help. Now, after calming down a bit when the store closed, I ended up talking to her, and I took my 2 weeks notice back, and I said that I would help with the store, but you know, some things needed to change. Now, I know this is longer than it really needs to be, so I'm going to shorten it up a little bit and just tell you things didn't change. You know, we were constantly short-staffed, putting a big portion of the weight on the ones that were left, stressing out, you know, the ones that were actually trying with their job. Well, I ended up getting in an altercation with an employee who called me a piece of shit along with a bunch of other things, and so I ended up sending him home, and then I told the company what I wanted to happen, and then come to find out the next day they pretty much ended up taking the employee's side of the whole thing. And, you know, not the supervisor that has worked for them for the past 10 years. I honestly cannot make this shit up. So after a few days of our shifts, they were overlapping, and being on the floor with him and knowing that my boss is probably out in a pile of her own vomit, I decided that I was finally really just wasting my fucking time and that they can run the store by themselves. I never got an apology from this person, and I also had to work with his wife as well. That was the other person that was on the floor with me. So I finally just said fuck it. I went out on my lunch break and I never came back. That was 2 days ago today, and I honestly just feel free. I was so stressed out about everything all the time, just making it extremely hard to focus on what I love to do, which is creating content. Like, I want to give you guys great videos, either educational, funny, informative, or even just shit posting. I just want to help people and make people happy through either solving a problem that they have or even just by making someone smile. The internet is a very powerful place, and I want to use that place for good things. I am going to be looking for a new job very soon, but I do just want to take a little bit of time and just focus on me and what I love to do. I think if I can actually give my all to this content thing, I think I can really make something special happen. I want to be an inspiration to my son. I want to be an inspiration to as many other people as I can. Unfortunately, most jobs that I can get with my skill levels are either just minimum wage paying jobs or slightly above, because honestly, I was just stupid. I didn't get a trade, I didn't go to college, you know, I just went straight into the workforce. But I like making people smile. I like making people feel like they have a home and a place where everyone can feel included. So that's about it for my ramblings for today, guys, and want to consider this my official start to this YouTube journey, and this is just the beginning. And I want to thank everyone that's rocked with me throughout the years, especially the ones that have stayed solid with me throughout absolutely everything. You really know who you are. And most importantly, man, the ones that finish this Godfather length of a video. Thank you, everybody. And you don't even know how much I appreciate you. I appreciate and love each and every single one of you. Thank you. All right, so we've come to that portion of the video, and it really would mean the world to me if you guys liked the video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit that bell to be notified whenever I do anything here on YouTube. Leave all sorts of comments down below. I honestly just love reading them. Thank you guys again, especially if you made it to the very end of the video. Really, really does mean the world to me. Everybody take care.